Hey, what's up, players? This is Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and right now we're getting ready to have a six-pack challenge match with Potsy and Tino on the big podcast show. Holla at a player.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network proudly brings to you its tag team champions of the world, the Road Dogg, Tino Gray, the Badass, Rob Potsy Potchak. That's right, the Potsy and Tino Show. Our theme song is always brought to you by Adam's House
Take two.
Take two. Our theme song is always brought to you by Adam's House Cats, called The Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for 99 cents. And we are coming at you live on YouTube and Twitch. I believe we are live on both.
That'd be awesome.
I believe we are live on both. It does say that I can manage my Twitch, so I assume we are live on both YouTube and Twitch. You can follow him on Instagram at SCTino. You can follow me on Instagram at Rob Potchak. Twitter, HootieFan91, Potchak, and of course, Potsy and Tino. So Tino.
Yo.
I wanted to go ahead and show everybody our first graphic of the night. I put this together in like 8 seconds right before the show started.
Because I was like, you think we should do something?
And we typically do give our 10 seconds of silence when we lose someone of the wrestling community. So being a big fan of the Legion of Doom and the Road Warriors, I do think that this is one of those moments where we should take 10 seconds in silence. Tino's getting ready to start the clock. And folks, if you would join us. We're going to go ahead and start it now. Animal, Joe Laurinaitis, you were one of the men that made up the greatest tag team of all time, if you ask me.
And they are up in heaven giving the doomsday devices to everybody.
You know, a team called Legion of Doom and the Road Warriors.
They might be in hell.
They might be, but they're running the show.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think they'd have it any other way.
No.
It is a little odd that Paul Ellering is the one that's actually still around.
Right?
You know, and they also had other members, Heidenreich, Draws, and Crush.
Yes,
Brian Adams.
I forgot about that.
Brian Adams was actually the first one that they tried. No, wait, no, he was Demolition, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was Demolition, and the reason why I get that wrong is because consistently during their careers, people always got Demolition and Legion of Doom mixed up because Vince wanted a Legion of Doom, so that's why he created the Axe and the Smasher.
Demolition, walking disaster.
Yeah, and then of course Kahuna Crush joined them.
Stupid.
And then he became Atom Bomb.
No, that was totally different. That wasn't
Brian. Not Brian Adams. Brian Clark.
Brian Clark was Atom Bomb.
Yeah, but wasn't Brian Clark Crush?
Yes, but you said then became Atom Bomb. They're two different guys.
But who was Atom Bomb? It wasn't Mortis. It was the other one.
The other one that was in the tag team Chronic.
Yeah, Chronic.
Yeah,
they were terrible.
Awesome name.
They were probably a Vince Russo creation. Probably. So if you're in the chat, please don't be shy. Say hi. We're thinking Restream is actually showing the chat up for us. So if anybody could go ahead and Tino wants to go ahead and say something, but I'm gonna go ahead and add a little something to the chat.
I'm just making sure that nobody said anything, and they haven't. All right.
All right, so nobody said anything. Now it says that. Oh, now it says we got 3 people in there, but you're probably one of them.
Yeah.
So, don't be shy. Say hi. Of course, we should be getting all of the messages on both Twitch and YouTube. So please, if you're out there, don't be shy. Say hi. So Tino,
Yo.
you can see what it says right there.
It says, wow, 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 wow.
I don't think it actually says wow 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 wow. No, it's not. We're not peanuts.
What's up with me? It's been
Nothing?
I got contacts today.
He got contacts.
I got my contacts.
This is gonna be a rough
I
show
shaved.
at this rate. You did.
I did. I shaved.
You did.
I shaved. Shaved. I got my contacts, and I'm looking fine once again. So
looking fine. Catherine, our good friend Catherine Gerald. She is she's an actress. She's been on The Walking Dead.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
She is asking what our Twitch names are. The Twitch name that you can follow this show on is Rob Potsy Potchak. Straight up, I don't think Tino's got a Twitch yet.
No.
He doesn't know how to set up all of this equipment or anything. So every time that we actually do come up with like graphics or anything else, you know, I'm the one that does all of that, and I'm sitting there explaining to him like what I'm doing, and he's like, oh, okay. So tonight I finally said, do you have any idea what that means? And he goes, you made a new graphic.
Well, I can sit you down. We can talk about chord progressions and how to write songs and stuff, and try to explain to you chord progressions.
I would understand that.
You understand chord progression?
I did used to be in a band. And I actually used to be in the middle school band.
What band? What did you play in the?
Oh, I didn't play. I was a singer. Remember? Our garage band, not yours.
Oh, I was about to say I wasn't in.
No, when I was in the band with Arnie and Fubar and Parker.
Did you guys play?
No. No, we practiced a lot and then we gave up.
I forgot.
We all bought all the equipment to actually start a band and everything, and then all of a sudden it was just.
What was the name of your band?
Free beer 8 to 11.
So you want to put that on the sign to get people in? Yeah. Hey, Katie.
Hi, Katie. Yeah, so
free band 8 till 11.
No,
free beer 8 till 11.
Free beer 8 to 11. So when people would come in, they'd be like, "Hey, we're here for free beer," and it'd be like, "Oh, they're playing." It's a great name.
I have a buddy. They're playing Carrie. The name of their band's Free Beer.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Did they steal it from me? Mm-hmm. How long they been around? Because we.
Yeah, but here's the difference. You guys stayed in the garage. You guys they're actually playing in bars.
Hey, except for the fact that we actually had a bar to play at if we ever wanted to.
Yeah, what happened?
We just never played there. And then Arnie got tired of the bar and sold that too.
Yeah.
So.
Other than that, so contacts.
Barry Gerald is in there too, and he's on Twitch. Hello, Barry. Wonderful seeing you. I was just explaining to Tino here that you and your lovely wife Catherine are actors and have been on shows like The Walking Dead. I know Catherine was in a movie. Well, actually, you were both in the movie. The What Would Linnea Do, which was all about Linnea Quigley, the former Scream Queen, and kind of like. The coolest thing about that movie was the fact that it was like horror movies are always about like really stupid people, right? Because like you think about it, and what they would do is say, what would Linnea do in this situation? Because the way the movie's always written is whatever you do ends up getting you killed.
Right.
But what Linnea would do is everything she could to get out of the situation and actually free herself from the captivity or whatever the case was. So like there was a segment in it where it was like when you're running away from the house that you know you've been captured by, there's always a car that pulls up behind you and the person gets in the car, but it came up from behind you, so it's coming from the house where you're running away from. So I always loved that film. I'm gonna have to let you borrow the DVD because I picked it up at the horror convention. Yeah, all dumb people in horror movies, exactly.
My favorite are the ones who run and then they fall and scream as the killer's walking up. And how come they walk? You're running full tilt and they're just walking. And then you fall and they catch up to you.
Yep. Why? Every time. And like I said, this is what that movie's all about. Like,
I gotta check that out.
like
That's
it's
hilarious.
yeah, they let me so last year when Carolina Fear Fest came in, I got to host their panel.
Mm-hmm.
So they were on a panel with Linnea and we were all talking with like everybody in the audience about it, and I got to screen it ahead of time, so I got to actually like know what happened in the movie, so I was able to talk to them about everything, and it was awesome. I one of my favorite moments of the
cool.
entire Fear Fest thing was getting to moderate that panel with, like I said, Scream Queen legend Linnea Quigley, and of course the Geralds were on there too, and they're amazing people. I heard, even though I don't like to talk about my day job very often, I did hear that they were able to get themselves a PS5 pre-order. So yeah, like run upstairs, not the downstairs front door. That's like all that type of stuff like in a horror movie.
I want to know why the black people always die first in the movie. You notice that?
Yes. Well, not always. I mean, in Candyman they didn't.
Because he was the main freaking character.
Well, and it was like everybody, and it was,
Shut up. You didn't make that sign.
So yeah. Sorry. So what Tino's talking about, folks, is I told them we're going to create a disclaimer front banner that actually says the opinions of the show and specifically of said hosts are their own and not of the show, not of where they work, have worked, or will work in the future. So
I play in bars.
Rob Katie just said Rob gets in trouble at his day job.
Yeah.
Katie would know she also gets in trouble at her day job.
I got a bone to pick with both of you guys.
This better not be about my day job.
No. So we went out last Friday. First of all, I'm gonna tell this whole story, and then
so something did happen to you.
And then we're gonna roll into the next day, and Katie's a part of this one. So we went out Friday. You and I.
We did.
I met up with you. We
did.
were gonna go to Ruckus, but you texted me and said Ruckus was full. She said, hey.
What's up, T?
She said, so you said Ruckus was. You texted me, said Ruckus is full. Meet me at Chili's.
Right.
And so we go there, and wow, you're correct. The bar was empty.
There's a reason why.
That
she wasn't nice, but I don't know if she was a.
She wasn't attentive either. She wasn't nice. She wasn't attentive. And Rob, and I was like, I'm gonna give her. Rob said, "Oh, I usually give."
Go ahead, say what
the tip. I gave her a nice tip. I wasn't going to.
Yeah.
But because I'm like, but then when we left, she's like, "Oh, bye. Have a nice night." I'm like,
she saw the tip at that point. She was like, "Oh shit, I probably should have been nicer."
so I think we had did we have a shot? We had a beer and a shot.
We had a beer and a shot.
And then we went to Ruckus and proceeded to get toasted.
No.
Yeah.
No, we got another shot.
We had a shot. No, we had a couple more shots.
Did we?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but we spaced it out over. We spaced it out.
And we had a good time. So I was like, all right, cool. Now, originally, if you guys were on the show last week, somebody who will remain nameless,
Katie,
yes, was supposed to meet up with us Friday. Now we gave her a pass
because she wasn't feeling well. Right,
all right. So then I get a message on Saturday because I was checking her to see how she was. She goes, Rob is making me drink with him. It's like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, oh, I see how you are. I said, I'm not there, and you guys can go drink it without me. And she's
now she's saying, hey.
And she's like, you could come. I'm like, I don't want a pity invite. So I just stopped messaging. I'm done with y'all today.
Now, so in context,
what did she say?
She wrote, yeah, I wasn't feeling well.
I know.
She still said she wasn't feeling well even then, but she was like, I kind of want to go get a beer. And then I said, well, I'm going next door to Ruckus after I clock out. So I clocked out, went over to Ruckus, and she's like, fine, Rob, one beer. And I also made her try sushi, like she just wrote there. And she kept saying, I hate sushi, I don't want sushi. And I made her try it, and she was like, what is eel sauce? What is this? And I was like, just try it, you'll like it, trust me. And she's like, I don't trust you. And then,
I don't blame her.
And then she tried it anyway. And then I said, you like it, don't you? And she's like, yeah. So But she still felt bad because she was like, Tino's not here, and she didn't feel well, so she felt the need to keep her mask on even though she was trying to drink her beer. But to her credit, she stopped at one beer and one piece of sushi. she wouldn't try any more of them. So
But she said yuck.
no, she said yeah. She said yeah.
I care. In real cap, she yelled at you. I care.
She wrote I care.
Well, here.
I guess she wrote that to you.
No, it's on the thing right there. There it is.
Yeah. She wrote it to you.
About what?
Because she cares about you. Yeah. She kept going, Tino's going to be so mad that he's not here. But anyways, you wouldn't have wanted to be there anyway. We just talked about work. And that's why we're not going to talk about that anymore. Do want to let everybody know that the Indiegogo did officially end. Unfortunately, we did not hit our goal. But Eric and I are taking into account when the funds actually come in, we will be still counting up the amount of coloring books that we have to produce, and we will be delivering coloring books to anybody that ordered the physical editions. When I get back from vacation, I will be finalizing the digital edition so that way we can try to get those out to anybody before Halloween. So we are still planning on doing a bunch of that stuff. The unfortunate thing is we didn't hit our full goal, so all 4 covers might not be made, but we are going to do at least 1, if not 2 different covers for the coloring book and make sure that anybody that did order physical editions does still get those by January and sometime. So, there's that.
There's that. What else we got? See, you don't have anything either.
Well, my week was full of work last week. You know, I had one day off between the last time we did this show and now, and all I'll basically say is, if you paid attention to anything, I will go ahead and say that every major retailer seemed to have some sort of issue with, and when I say every major retailer, I'm talking about electronics retailers, Amazon, Best Buy, Walmart, Target. All of them seem to have issues with the PS5 and Xbox Series X pre-orders this week. They seem to come and go faster than you could go like that. So all things said there. Both pieces of equipment seem really awesome. It's going to make for an interesting holiday for anybody that's looking for the hottest ticket items out there.
How much are they? I know right now they just happen. Like when they come out, how much are they? It's like $5 something.
They are going to be $500.
And is it true you can go back and play all the PlayStation games?
No.
See.
No. The common misconception there is that Sony was attempting to figure out a way to get all backwards compatibility back to the original PlayStation 1, but here's the problem with that. So Sony, when they created the PlayStation 1, used a very specific chip manufacturer to build it. Then when they went to the PlayStation 2, if you remember correctly, they were able to put backwards compatibility in that.
Yep.
They used the same chip manufacturer for it, but they used a different style chip. So not all the discs were backwards compatible. So like the weird blue ones were not, but the actual CD ones were.
And then I think you could play some of the 2 games on the 3.
So when the 3 first launched, it actually came with a PlayStation 2 built into it. So because of that, it actually had the ability to play all the PlayStation 2, which meant it also had the ability to play PlayStation 1 games. Then they realized that was so expensive because when the PlayStation launched, it was $600. They had to figure out a way to bring costs down. So then they went to something called software emulation, which is kind of like, a program that allows it to do it, which cut the cost by about $100 on the system, but it still only brought it down to $500, and the systems weren't selling. The Xbox 360 was selling much better than it, so they had to figure out a way to do that, and they just cut out backwards compatibility on later models.
Sucks. I was excited because I got all these 2 and 3 games that Well, I still got a PS3. And I got a PS4 now too.
So the funny thing about that though is that like when I had first got the PS3 for $600, uh, my local retailer actually, because they couldn't fulfill my pre-order on the first run, said you can pick out a $20 game for free. So, but it had to be a PS2 game that I picked out for free. So I picked out a $20 PS2 game, got that, put it into my PS3, and started playing it. And then I was like, "The hell am I doing playing a $20 game in a $600 machine?" Like I bought a $600 machine to see what this thing could do.
Yeah.
So I never again put a PS2 game into it. So what's up, Chris Barrett? Chris Barrett's in the house. So I never again put a PS2 game into my PS3. Now my ex-wife decided she wanted to watch DVDs in it at one point.
You could do that.
You could, but you could also do it on the $50 DVD player that we had sitting right next to it.
It's better on the Blaze.
No, it wasn't. It was, but we had a fight about that because I didn't want a $6 DVD in my $600 machine because there was known problems with the first run of PlayStation 3s.
And the DVD would have messed up your PlayStation 3.
So interestingly enough, a DVD did mess up my PS3.
What?
And I had to replace my PS3 and could not get the disc out of it. So yes, Tino, that's exactly what happened.
Oh, you pissed somebody off.
Who'd I piss off? Well, he's the one that went, Chris Barrett!
He started it. Don't put that on me.
Chris Barrett!
No, but when Chris Barrett came in, hey, what's up with Chris Barrett? Katie snuck in. You didn't say anything. I said hey to Katie when she came in.
I got to Katie.
Well, no,
We gave Katie like 5 minutes of time on this episode. Like, if that's not an introduction, I don't know what is.
This is true.
So.
She's what, an honorary part of the show.
Yeah, now at least this episode. Yeah. On the greatest hits, it's going to be all about Katie's beer drinking and sushi trying.
And not inviting me anyway.
You got invited. You did not come.
It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Jimmy Buffett even wrote a song about that.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Anyway.
But the PS3 could also play Blu-rays. Yes, Chris Barrett, it could. And in fact, it did. And it was my first Blu-ray playing machine. And of course, after that, I think, do you remember when you first got your first DVD player, what your first DVD was?
Oh, Jesus, Friday.
Was it Friday? Really? Wow.
Because I had the video, the VHS, and wore that shit out. And then I had the DVD, and that's the first DVD I got, and wore that bitch out. I had to buy a new one. That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
So my first DVD was probably The Matrix.
Wow.
Because everybody was like, "Oh, you got to see this," and I was like, "All right."
I
so
still haven't seen it.
The original Matrix.
Is that the blue pill and the red pill?
Yeah.
No, I've never seen. I haven't seen any of them. I need to sit down and watch them. I haven't seen any of them. Maybe that's what we'll do.
I think you just need to watch the first and second one. The third one's not worth it.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that it was either that or it was the Denzel Washington movie Fallen.
That was a good one.
That was and it had that Rolling Stones song in it. Time is on my side.
That's when you about to get
messed up. Yeah, exactly. And they'd always go like, and then all of a sudden it would pass it over to the other person.
Who's Mr. Helis?
That's Terrence.
What's up, Terrence? He said, what? He said, Tino. We missed you Friday, Terrence. We went looking for you Friday, and you weren't there.
Yeah, you were not where you're supposed to be on Friday nights because we were not allowed to watch SmackDown.
Yeah.
We had to watch it after the fact.
And we thought that we were going to be able to watch it at Chili's, but she shut you down. There was nobody in that bar. It would not have mattered.
Nobody in the bar, and I said, hey, can we watch something on the TV? And she's like, well, what do you want to watch? And I said, pro wrestling.
As soon as you said that.
And she goes, wrestling is not allowed.
What?
That's what she said.
You should have done a 20 on the bar. Says it's allowed now.
What's that? I was not going to give her $20. You didn't even want to give her 20%.
She didn't keep my beer going. She wouldn't have had that problem if it was Terrence.
Chris Barrett says I was getting VHS up until 2006, 2007. My first DVD was probably the first live-action Scooby-Doo movie.
It's not showing up quick. Did she just show up? Something's wrong with me because I haven't seen The Matrix. not really a big like
sci-fi.
Yeah, I mean, I watch like Star Wars, and I watch Star Wars, and I watch like Star Trek and all that, but The Matrix never.
I guess I should.
I mean, I will watch it. I've heard enough about it, and I'll watch it, and I'll probably love it.
I guess at this point I shouldn't make fun of anybody for any franchises or anything that they haven't seen, considering I've never watched nor read any of the Harry Potter stuff.
Dude.
Now I've seen Fantastic Beasts.
Here's the thing.
But I have not watched any of those 8 movies of Harry Potter.
For years, since those books have come out, Nicole's read every one, and she's seen every movie, and she's like, "You want to sit down and watch it?" Nope.
That's what we're gonna have to do.
Nope.
You and me, we're gonna have to sit there and watch all 8 of those movies,
nope.
and every week we'll give a synopsis on what we watched.
I'm like, yeah, I'll watch that. That's what, 2 hours I'm out here. Yeah, you sit down and watch wrestling with me. She's like, nope. She's like, because I grew up, my brother watched wrestling, and then when we started dating, I used to watch it with you. Now she just refuses. So I'm like, I'll watch it. So it's either that or see, he's never seen any Harry Potter friends in films. It's that, and you know why I refuse to watch Harry Potter? Because I sat down and I allowed it, because I wouldn't watch Harry. She goes, "You never want to watch anything I want to watch." Guess what the hell I had to watch?
50 Shades of Grey.
Every freaking Twilight movie that came out.
I was close.
I don't give a shit about no glittering vampires.
Hey, except one of them's now Batman.
Oh, that pissed me off.
One of them is now Batman.
I got standing. We have a standing date every Friday at Ruggets.
She's gonna read the books to us.
Oh Jesus.
So
I'm gonna be drunk.
Interestingly enough, I've probably seen every other movie that what's his face that played Harry Potter has been in.
Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe. Like this weekend, I actually watched a movie called Guns Akimbo, with him in it, where he basically is like some tool, right, in his regular life, and he's making fun of somebody on the internet, and then they show up at his apartment and they staple guns to his hands, so he can't take them off or anything. He can't even lift his own phone. He can't pull down his pants. Nothing. He's got these guns attached to his hands, and he basically gets stuck in a game where he's got to try to kill somebody else, and then all of a sudden he goes on a rampage and kills everybody that was trying to kill him. It was actually pretty cool. Like, it felt like what would happen in, like, a really stupid, cheesy video game.
I have no words.
Yeah.
I have no words.
So I've seen that, but, you know, my favorite movie of his is actually Victor Frankenstein.
I haven't seen that one either.
So that's him and James McAvoy. And McAvoy actually plays Victor Frankenstein, and Radcliffe plays Igor.
Oh.
No, he plays Igor. But Igor starts out as, you know, the Igor, the monster and everything, and Frankenstein actually fixes his back and everything for him so that he can stand up straight, and he actually becomes. How did I just piss Katie off?
She hasn't seen the movie. You just told the whole thing.
I did not. I didn't say what actually happens at the end.
You did. You said he went on a rampage.
Yeah, but he goes on a rampage. But that's because he's got to run away from everybody. That's the whole point of the movie.
Oh, she's hot at you. Anyway.
And Barry says, "I know it says B Zombie 14, but it's Barry. Just saying." No, I know it's you, Barry. We're cool there. Twilight was horrible from Catherine.
Yes, I agree.
What
is she saying, Katie?
Katie, there's a lot more to the movie, even though it is only 96 minutes long. So
if we go to Ruckus every Friday and she reads Harry Potter to me, I will be Ubering every Friday because I'll be drunk. Like, why are we?
Why am I still? Wait. What does Hermione look like?
She's like a Heine.
Why is she go with Ron Weasley? What the hell?
Hermione is a Heine.
I don't know. No.
It rhymes. It rhymes.
I think you're just making shit up now. But the PS4 was not backwards compatible at all. Getting back to what we were talking about. Yeah, full circle. Full circle.
We went from PS4 to Harry Potter.
all the way back to PS4.
Oh, Jesus.
That's how you go full circle, right? So so the PS4 was not backwards compatible, but the PS5 has the chipset and entire like the computing the computing power and everything is all developed by the same people that developed the PS4. So because of that, that's why it's backwards compatible with PS4 stuff. Makes sense.
But only PS4. You can't go back to pay anything else. Okay.
But PlayStation has their service that you can pay like $20 a month for and get all like a lot of the old games.
What?
Like you stream them. It's like $20 a month and you can stream the old games. It's called PlayStation Now. Yeah.
I gotta look into that. Cause I missed the old, you know, I love the old Raw SmackDown games of the
We're
little
gonna turn that
controllers.
up. It's hot in here. So hot in.
Don't you, you punk.
And then Barry just pointed out that yes, the PS5 will run approximately 99% of it's those top 3 buttons. The top one is going to be the fastest.
What's this one?
That's the slowest.
What's this one?
That's off.
Okay. What's this one?
That's off for the light.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't need that light off.
No, we don't.
Tino's trying to get frisky.
No, I'm not.
Tino's. T, we will get to night vision goggles later in the broadcast, I'm sure. And it might actually be when I get to put up the little thing that goes like this. But until then,
Oh God.
we're gonna go back to this one because I'm not ready to rant yet. I mean, if I was one to talk about my work, I'd probably go on a rant right now, but I don't, so we won't. I will, however, say that it was pretty interesting hearing that retailers' websites crashed for up to 8 to 10 hours for people trying to pre-order these game systems online.
Wow.
So we know what the hot items are at Christmas. I will go ahead and say that my personal opinion of Xbox versus PlayStation this time around is not apples to apples, folks. Microsoft has changed the game with their all access pass, where for $35 a month you can get their top line Xbox Game Pass with over 100 games that you can play, and then they go ahead and a couple days after they announce all of that, they bought Bethesda. Now, this doesn't mean anything to Tino until I say what games they bought. They bought Doom.
Oh.
They bought Wolfenstein.
Oh.
They bought Elder Scrolls, Skyrim. They bought Fallout.
Oh.
They now own the company that made all of those.
So if they can Sony PlayStation still sell those names if Microsoft bought them out? You know what I mean?
Excellent question. The answer is if Microsoft lets them. So here's the interesting thing about this, and this is what blows my mind, makes me really, really think that Microsoft has changed the game. Everybody talked about with the PlayStation 4 all of the exclusives that the PlayStation offered. They had Spider-Man, they had God of War, they had Ratchet and Clank, they had Ghost of Tsushima just recently, Last of Us 2, Uncharted. You know, like the list goes on and on and on. Infamous, Killzone. You know, like you just keep going. Horizon Zero Dawn. You know, like you just keep going with these exclusives. And now, yes, they still have all those exclusives. They're even going to offer them as part of their PlayStation Plus collection in a lot of cases. So any of the games that are $20 at this point, you're pretty much, as long as you've got PlayStation Plus, will be able to play them on your PS5. The interesting thing about it, though, is that Microsoft, when they have bought companies in the past, have still let their games come out on PlayStation. Here's why. So Minecraft, for example, Microsoft owns it.
Right.
Minecraft they bought for $2.5 billion. By the way, Marvel cost Disney $2.1 billion. So Minecraft was more expensive than a 1,000-character library and what has now become a multi-billion-dollar movie franchise, right?
So why were they showing Iron Man on TNT?
No, I asked you that.
We had that
I
conversation.
asked you that. Warner Brothers, the competition to Disney, was showing Iron Man. Actually, it was Captain America
Captain
Civil
America.
War. They were
No,
showing.
no, oh, was, no,
it
no,
was,
no,
It
no.
was Captain America Civil War.
No. It was one where they're all together.
Yeah, it was
the
Captain
Avengers.
America Civil War.
Is that the one where they're all together?
That's the
Ant-Man
first one
and
where
all of
that
them?
was the first one Spider-Man showed
okay.
up. Yeah. So I was trying to figure out why they would ever license it out, and the answer is Warner Brothers paid the money to show it on their network.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they, right? But and see that's where Microsoft's purchase of Bethesda becomes so interesting because Minecraft still came out on PlayStation. Minecraft is now out on Switch. Minecraft's out on PC, Apple. It doesn't matter. Every competitor of Microsoft that's out there has Minecraft. Reason why? Minecraft is a billion-dollar franchise that they're able to make money off of from these other companies.
Because they'll still get a piece of it.
Correct. And they'll get a large piece of it, right? So now with the Bethesda library though, and Barry saying that Microsoft is flexing, you're absolutely correct because now with titles like Elder Scrolls, here's what's going to be interesting about it. Microsoft is going to put these titles on Game Pass, which allows them to say, hey, $10 a month, you get these games, or $15 a month, you get these games and the Game Pass option, right? So you're going to have all of that event, or I guess it's $15 a month for all access. You're going to get all of that stuff included, and if you want to buy it on Sony, it's going to cost you $70. So they're not. They might not say no, you can't sell it, but they're not going to let them give it for free.
No.
They're not going to let them give it as part of the package.
Well, I think they would do that, but I mean, you still got gamers who want to play those games. That's what I'm saying. Is Microsoft going to be like, well, no, now you have to buy an Xbox? Are they cornering the market?
I mean, that's what they've done with Halo. That's what they've done with Gears of War.
Dude, I wish
Forza.
I Halo. I love Halo.
So I will tell you that I have a feeling that within 5 years, Microsoft's Game Pass Ultimate or just Xbox Live is going to be available on PlayStation. Now that's just a prediction, not a spoiler. That's just a prediction, folks. I anticipate that Microsoft is going to attempt to take over the services side of all of video gaming, and why not? You know, right now Microsoft has, I believe, 15 million players on Game Pass, and at $10 a month, that's $150 million per month that they're earning. So they can push some of that off to the developers of games and everything else to enhance Game Pass similar to what Netflix does.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, why wouldn't Sony just say, if we can't beat them, join them on it? Right? We'll go ahead and put it on there. We'll get our little chunk of the $10 a month, but Microsoft will sit there and say, you guys can have the gaming console thing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just have the gaming cloud-based services and everything else.
That makes sense.
You know, and I do think that that's what they're aiming at. I mean, think about it. They took over the type of operating system you have to have on your computer unless you have an Apple. Like sure, there's Red Hat's one that they've got, but nobody uses it. You know, so it literally is everybody's using Microsoft Windows.
Yeah.
You know, and you can even use Microsoft Windows on an Apple computer at this point. So and Microsoft Office and everything else is still that programming is still what everybody wants. And now to have the latest ones, you pay a monthly fee for it. So they're just doing the same thing that they have actually been extremely smart with in their entire business model, and they're going to continue doing it. Barry says it's like Activision; they make most of their money on microtransactions. Kind of, except this isn't a microtransaction situation. This is truly just you're gonna pay us $10 a month, and we're gonna give you 100 games out of the box. Chris Barrett says Apple and Acer don't use Windows out of the box. Well, and I already said Apple does not. Acer, however, is a brand of computer that does have licensing with Microsoft, unless you have a Chromebook, which
that's what Acer's are mostly Chromebooks, aren't they?
Some, yeah, probably. I mean, every company offers Chromebooks now, but they still sell a fraction of the amount of units that you know a Windows-based PC does. Now, a lot of that's because companies need Windows-based PCs rather than something that's only going to be used for email or Zooming or whatever, right? So, Linux, yes, that's exactly what what I was thinking of without knowing what I was trying to say there, Chris Barrett. So thank you for that. I do think that there, Bethesda, the purchase of them by Microsoft. Microsoft has already said that a bunch of the games are still going to be available because they actually have exclusivity rights with PlayStation. So Microsoft will adhere to those. But even that, as soon as those exclusivity things are up, you'll have paid for those games on PlayStation, whereas you'll get them as part of Game Pass on Microsoft. So it's pretty interesting, and it's a whole different ballgame. Like, anybody who said that Microsoft doesn't have the exclusives, they want to make Starfield exclusive. They want to make Fallout exclusive. They want to make Elder Scrolls exclusive. Kind of just screwed the pooch on Sony with that one.
Yeah.
So all things considered there. Tino, that's about all I've got on the world of my opinions in terms of the video game industry.
All right. Well, let's roll on.
So movies are also kind of back. Did you hear?
Kind of.
Things are going into theaters now.
I still don't know if I want to go back to the theaters. If there's something I really want to see, I think I'm still going to watch it at home. I mean, you're paying $30, but I mean, well, anywhere from $20 to $30. But you're in your house, you can pause it, you can go to the bathroom, eat your own food. You know what I'm saying? I think this whole thing is probably going to change a whole lot, and I think it's going to. I hope it doesn't, because I, for one, like going to the movies and having that experience, eating the popcorn and actually sitting in the theater. But I think this is going to change a whole lot of that.
You know, part of me does want to go to the theater to watch Tenet, the new Christopher Nolan movie, the guy who did the Batman Dark Knight series. I want to see that because I didn't realize it, but that's Denzel Washington's kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Terrence was the one that told me that. I did not know that was Denzel Washington's kid. I mean, he's a grown ass man. You look at Denzel Washington, and you think that guy's only in his 30s. Nope.
You know why?
Why?
Because black don't cry.
That's why Shelton Benjamin looks so young.
Yeah. That's why I still look the way I do it.
When you shave.
When I shave, yeah. If I don't shave, you can tell my age. But.
So Tino has multiple looks. He looks like Lawrence Fishburne from like The Matrix, and then he looks like Lawrence Fishburne from Blackish. He looks like Pops.
That was good. I was good. Like that one. You almost let me spit water on that one. That was good.
Tino, before I forget, I want to go ahead and tell everybody, since it looks like right now we've got quite a few viewers. Next week, folks, we will be taking a break. I will be on vacation, so unless I bring my laptop and force Tino to actually make sure that I'm back at my hotel room so that I can live feed from there, which might not even be a good live feed based on internet strength and everything else. So we're probably not going to be filming next week, but we will be back the week after that, hopefully with news on whether or not I'm moving. Who are you texting? Don't forget to tell them about. Oh yes, and I do have to say that I feel quite a bit better now than I did this morning, and even this afternoon. I left work early today, Tino, and I don't typically do that. And I left work early because I had a really bad headache. I was on the verge of a headache. That's it. Nothing else. Verge of a migraine. Came home, and I was like, okay, I've got 2 or 3 things to do around the house, but before I do that, I'm going to sit in the recliner.
That always does it.
And then 2.5 hours later, I woke up and Tino's texting me saying, "Hey, are you at home yet?" So I do feel quite a bit better, and I hope everybody else is feeling healthy. I know that Katie was feeling under the weather, so hopefully she's starting to feel better. But yeah, so I do feel better.
I was like, "Are we gonna do the show?" And you,
I will. No matter what, I will power through it. The only way you're not getting me to do it is if I actually sit there and go, "I got the flu," and the actual flu.
There will be no.
Yeah, and then we just do it. We do it from the
live stream.
Yeah, we
do
it
over
StreamYard instead. Yeah, so And glad to hear that you guys are doing well, Barry. You and Catherine. You guys are out like in the woods area, right? So, um, thank you, Katie. I feel much better. Although I keep trying to get the fan to go much higher because I'm
That's like
is that on two?
that's the one under the top. You want to put it up?
No, it's fine where it is. I'm actually it's just warm in here
Oh,
because we got all the because we got the new lights.
Oh yeah,
You know,
that's another thing.
we got the new lights.
That's on you.
Well, here you want it on you.
No, because you blinded the shit out of me with that thing.
Well, don't look at it.
Well, I can't when I.
You look at the camera. You don't look at the
when
light.
you turned it right there. I was like, oh.
Where were you on the night of the?
God, I hate you.
But yes, I fly out to Disney World on Wednesday. Finally get to check out the new Star Wars stuff. Finally get to check out Toy Story Land. But as a yes, Katie, I believe it's the same kind you got recently. So talking about the lights.
Maybe we should have two. Do you have one and I have one?
Well,
I'll buy one.
You can buy one.
Do I have to plug it in there?
I don't know. The three things are like I got a camera plugged in, I got this plugged in, I got that plugged in. I only have three outlets.
So I gotta pull it every week, and I just like hear it and bring my light in here every week.
Well, you can actually plug it into a wall socket. You just got to have a wall socket thing for it.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, I get to. But what we're really going down there for, because it's all adults going, we're going for the Food Wine Festival, which if you've never been during late September, October, typically they bring in all of the best foods from around the world in Epcot, which typically is everyone's least favorite place to go in Disney, but it's my favorite place to go because they do this thing called Around the World. Tino, you ever done it?
Mm-mm.
So you know the World Showcase.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for those that don't know, if you've never been to Disney World, in Epcot they have this area called the World Showcase, which is typically 13 different countries that you can go to.
Oh, I'll go drink at the different places.
So going around the world
Mm-hmm.
is when you have a drink at all 13 places.
I do that.
Okay. So the Food and Wine Festival, Chris Barrett saying that the Galaxy's Edge's fun was there in February before the Carino virus ruined the world. He even called it the Carino virus. Thank you for playing along with that one, Chris Barrett. Yeah, so during the Food and Wine Festival, though, they add about another 20 stands to it. Normally, they add up to like 60 stands to it from other places around the world. And almost all of them also have alcohol.
Well, we go eat because Nicole's German. She's Italian and German. So when we go there to the Epcot,
You go to the Mexico and get the empanadas.
We go to the German, the little German place, and they're watching the German band and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I get the flights. So while they're watching all that, I got like 2 or 3 flights.
Interestingly, so Germany typically does have 2, if not 3 flights,
Mm-hmm.
and you get like a 4-ounce beer, 4 different 4-ounce beers. Actually, in Disney, pretty reasonably priced too.
Yeah.
Like everything in Disney is astronomical, but when you go for a Food and Wine Festival or even just go into those little areas, because you're only getting like 4 ounces of each, it might be like $9 for the 4 ounces.
That's why.
But it's like 2 full beers for or like a beer and a half for $9, which in Disney is, that's cheap. But interestingly enough, when you go to the United States Pavilion, they have like craft beers from the United States, and they give you a full size beer.
On a flight or just a
No, a full size
okay.
beer. So like for $9, you actually get a full beer that you want to drink the whole thing. So I kept drinking this one called like Brown Cow or something like that. It was a
How now?
What's that?
How now, Brown Cow?
No, it was not called How Now, but it was called like Brown Cow, and that was delicious the last time. And in fact, you just talked about the German music and everything. You know who we saw at the American Pavilion last time?
David Hasselhoff.
No, he'd be at the German one.
No,
No, Toad the Wet Sprocket.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
So we went there for my 40th birthday. So we were there, and Shane and Michelle know that they're one of my favorite bands. So we got to sit there and for free, because we're just walking around Disney. We're watching them, and they're like, they get us through like 3 or 4 songs, and Michelle and Shane go, we gotta go. I'm like, what do you mean we gotta go? They're like, we told you we had dinner plans. We gotta go. So I'm like, but Toad the Wet Sprocket, just one of my favorite bands, and I mean, you and I have seen them because we would go to like the one year we go to see Hootie and the Blowfish, but they're opening
for Hootie and the Blowfish.
No. The first year it was Hootie and the Blowfish was opening for Toad the Wet Sprocket, and then Hootie blew up, and then Hootie was like, and then they flip flopped it.
Yeah.
And we went and saw them.
I remember going. I don't know if you were with me when Edwin McCain was opening for Hootie before he blew up.
Yeah, he went on stage with them, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he was playing. Yeah, because they both went to like Carolina or something.
Yeah, because I got to meet him because I went to ECU. So Hootie used to play there, and that's when Edwin was first coming out. And so I got to meet him. So like years later, Fat Daddy's here in Raleigh. It's not here anymore, but every the last Sunday in August, after they did the Jimmy B Golf Classic, all the celebrities would go to Fat Daddy's and do karaoke and be stupid. So I saw Edwin McCain again. He was like, I'm like, hey, he remembered me. I'm like, dude, I said, when I first met you, you were like that damn. Like now you're getting big, you got a gut. He goes, I can afford to eat now. It was awesome.
At least you could take a joke from it, but no. And then the surprise was that my sister and brother-in-law took me to what they call the Party of the Senses, which they're not doing this year, but typically
you don't have the senses with the Perino, the sense of smell. And
yeah, you don't have the senses at all. But no, that is a private party that you have to buy a table at and everything.
Toad the Wet Sprocket were there.
No.
Oh.
No, but interestingly enough, they did have a band playing, and I watch a show called Bosch on Amazon, and that same band was in an episode of Bosch.
Nice.
So I was like, well, that's kind of cool. But no, at that Party of the Senses, Disney flies in all of their specific best chefs from all around the world.
Whoa.
And they all cook their specialties, and you go up in buffet style to all of their specialties.
That sounds awesome.
It was phenomenal. Like, absolutely phenomenal. If you ever get a chance to do it, folks, by all means, please do it. If and when they go back to doing it again. But yeah, so I'll be down there from Wednesday to the following Thursday, flying back next Thursday. So unfortunately, we will be taking our first break from the Potsy and Tino show since we've been doing this since almost WrestleMania, like without a break.
Like I said, we started it when we started doing it 3 years ago. Then we were kind of like it was like on and off, and then I think it was before WrestleMania. It was a WrestleMania at least. We started hitting.
Yeah, we said we're doing this every week because we want to build an audience. We want to build people up. We want to talk about us. What's up with you?
Yeah.
Right.
And possibly take this with you, and we can do it through StreamYard.
I have a feeling that the internet connection at the hotel is going to be crap.
Okay, well,
because it normally is. And while I could possibly also do a Wi-Fi hotspot with my phone, I don't even know if I'll be at the hotel at the time that we or I don't know if I can actually be in a quiet, in a spot where, because we do this late, that everyone else will be sleeping versus, so we're gonna take a week off. When I get back, we will have plenty to talk about.
Because you're gonna miss the.
I'm gonna miss the NXT pay-per-view. I'm gonna miss at least an NXT, Raw, SmackDown, AEW.
Yeah, it's a week's worth, so we'll have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
When you come back.
Yeah, but I will go ahead. Although we'll probably just cover the NXT pay-per-view and what our favorite matches were while I was gone.
Yeah.
That way I don't have to try to watch everything. But Tino, we've talked about us for about an hour.
Wow.
And we've got a great audience out here, but we're gonna ruin it for everybody because we're gonna talk pro wrestling.
Well, not everybody, but like
mostly everybody.
Katie will check out. Katie's gonna dip out now.
Well, the Geralds probably will dip out. Hey Chad, I didn't see your chat up there. Hope you're doing well, sir. Chris Barrett did say hi for me. So, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna hop right into NXT versus AEW last week. Tino, I think both shows were good. Very, very good. I think that this is the gold standard right now. And I'm not even gonna say that either were my favorite show last week because they weren't, but consistently really good. And this is after the turd that was Monday Night Raw last week. But we got good NXT. In fact, last week I said on the air, when has anybody ever started a gauntlet match and finished the gauntlet match and won? And I'm going to say right now, I don't know which one of you is a WWE troll watching our show. I just got to ask which one it is, because
I think it's Pat McAfee. Not Pat McAfee, I'm sorry.
Pat Buck?
Yeah, I think it's Pat Buck.
Pat Buck is probably watching our show right now.
Or Jamie Noble.
Jamie Noble.
Jamie Noble.
Can't believe he's
probably Jamie
We
Noble.
had a Jamie Noble appearance
Sighting.
tonight, but we're gonna have to get to that in a bit. But I don't even care what happened the rest of the episode of NXT, because there was a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, but the main thing that came out of it, and I think it blew both our minds,
was that we got Kyle O'Reilly stepping up into the main event
out of nowhere.
from out of nowhere. So Tino, go ahead.
Where the fuck did Kyle come from?
And by the way, that's not the only time Tino's going to say that tonight.
No.
We're gonna
I get a couple.
we're gonna talk about that when we talk about the pay-per-view.
But if I had to pick a winner, I thought for sure it was going to be do with the hat.
Cameron Grimes.
I thought it was going to be Cameron Grimes.
Yep.
I thought it was going to be Cameron because I didn't think it was going to be any of the other two. Kyle O'Reilly surprised me.
So and you're absolutely right. The other side of the Kyle O'Reilly thing, though, is that this would have been the perfect moment to have him go run the entire gauntlet except lose against the last guy, right?
Right.
That would have been the way to do it, because that would have cemented him as the next guy.
But I think they're already starting him well on his way to being the next guy. And we talked about your thoughts about it would be perfect for him and Adam Cole to go at it. But way I'm looking at it though too, you've got Ciampa in the mix there too, because he came out and stopped Ciampa from laying the smackdown on that young boy's ass. And I think that either Adam Cole or Ciampa.
Yeah, no, obviously they started planting the seeds with Tommaso Ciampa. Carson, hey yo, throwing one of those at you. We're talking about Kyle O'Reilly right now. You missed, apparently you were running your show, so I apologize for missing that. On the Comics Core, you guys are great. The Kyle O'Reilly thing, like you said, out of nowhere, totally caught us off guard. I mean, we know he's a great wrestler. I mean, he is a great wrestler. He looks 12. He kind of looks like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Yeah. Okay, Scooby-Doo. But yet he is probably one of the top 10 wrestlers in the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
And he finally got to put that on display. He finally got to show off. And Triple H backstage finally said, "Kyle, it's your time." And I don't know if it's because they need more main event talent in NXT at this point, because they might not. I mean, they got Johnny, they got Ciampa, they got Finn, they got Adam Cole.
Yeah, but they need somebody fresh.
They definitely need somebody fresh, and Kyle O'Reilly has been someone that we really haven't seen a lot of recently.
But he's a workhorse when he's in there.
And all of the Undisputed Era are. I mean,
I'd be fine with Fish going for a major title too. Bobby Fish.
Bobby Fish at the time that Kyle O'Reilly was going for the Ring of Honor World Title was the TV champion. So Red Dragon, both men had titles at the same time.
So those two, like I said, they can probably build something.
And you can't ever take anything away from Roderick Strong. Like all four of those men can go to the next level, and they always do. I always joke that Kyle O'Reilly won't be a main eventer on the main stage of WWE, and it's because Vince isn't gonna like his look.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell.
But he's got a Sami Zayn look though.
What now? Because he's got that weird beard.
But I think him and Sammy are about the same build.
Maybe. But the difference though is what I think is gonna happen. I think Adam Cole's getting ready to get called up to the main roster. I don't know when. I hope it doesn't happen until after Mania. But what I do think is going to happen is Kyle O'Reilly may actually win the title from Finn Balor, because Finn Balor, as we know, does not need the title. So he's a good placeholder until they get to the next guy, right? And Kyle O'Reilly wins the title, and then if they really want to show off his charisma, because he's always the guy that's coming down doing the Hulk Hogan, belt down to the ring thing.
Yeah.
I think that it's perfect time for him to kick Adam Cole out of the Undisputed Era.
Kind of like The Rock did the Farouk.
Yeah, it obviously won't happen at that level because Adam Cole is probably The Rock in that group, right? But I would anticipate that would be the best way to bring Kyle O'Reilly and the rest of the Undisputed Era to a different level. Allow them to continue being heels because they still have that heelish feel to them.
Or when Shawn left and Triple H took over for DX.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, that's more like it.
Okay.
In fact, I bet that's what Shawn Michaels and Triple H backstage are actually sitting there saying. Oh man, we could totally make this into like when you and I you had to go have back surgery and just disappear for 5 years and I took over the entire industry.
But it'd be different. Well, because wouldn't Roddy be Triple H to Adams Shawn Michaels? I mean, because that's like Fish and O'Reilly are like New Age Outlaws.
But I think
you know what I mean.
I don't even think they're like the New Age Outlaws though. I think you're literally looking at, in terms of the quality of workers, you're looking at a stable that is right now Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Triple H. You know? I don't think that you're like now in terms of charisma and other things. I think Bobby Fish is a little bit lacking. I think Roderick Strong has had moments, like when he was leaving Ring of Honor, or even when he showed up and he started talking about his wife and everything else. When he was having matches with guys like Johnny and stuff like that. But I think that on the talent level, those four guys are so much further along than just about anybody else in NXT that they carry everybody in every match that they're ever in. And I think you even saw that in the Roderick Strong Strange Bedfellows tag team match this past weekend.
Yes.
Which by the way,
that was awesome.
Loved the fact that they brought back the Strange Bedfellows match. I would have, and for those that don't typically watch wrestling, like Katie, Strange Bedfellows match is when you take different tag team members of teams and put them with someone that they don't normally tag with, and they still have to have a match and try to win. Obviously, this one also had the stipulation that the two teams that won, or the two team members that won, would then go on to have their teams face each other, so that the winner of that match goes on to face the tag team champions at the pay-per-view, which is Breezango. So there's some education for anybody that didn't understand the Strange Bedfellows thing. It's not like just waking up and going, "How'd you get here?"
What the hell did I drink last night?
Some of you in that audience may have had to deal with that at some point or another. I know this one has.
Long time ago. Long time ago. College. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm like, what was your name?
What's your name? Yeah. So on AEW, we got Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston in a world title match.
That was off. Where'd that come from? I guess because there's supposed to be a tag match with Murder Hawk and all that.
And Murder Hawk is out with the Carino.
Yeah.
So he's hanging out with Steve Carino.
But that match?
That match was a slap fest.
Oh my God.
And I'm going to tell you right now, Jon Moxley's slaps look like pillows compared to Eddie Kingston.
Eddie Kingston trying to kill him.
Eddie Kingston.
Oh my God.
Eddie Kingston. He looked like the Fruit of the Loom grape by the time he was done, man. Like, he just had purple welts all over his chest. And, of course, Eddie Kingston's wearing a T-shirt, so you can't see them. But at the same time, like, you would hear like that every time that Eddie Kingston would slap, and you'd hear like that every time that Jon Moxley slapped. And it was like
I mean, I'm watching this match.
I probably just almost blew out the speaker right there.
I'm like, oh my God, every time they got hit.
Every time, and like, people are talking about how now that should be like an ongoing feud, and I'm thinking to myself, Eddie Kingston hasn't earned it. Like, Like, and it doesn't matter if he's on the independent circuit and he's showing it week in and week out there. He hasn't earned it on AEW.
I'm not saying, but look at all these people who walk into AEW and hadn't earned it. You know what I mean?
Like Miro.
Miro.
Wait, no, he hasn't done anything. In fact, he
no.
He didn't even look strong in his match.
Roll on and get a title offense like Thunder Rosa. I mean, you know.
Thunder
Rosa's a bad girl.
But she's also a champion in her.
She's a bad girl.
And she is.
Yeah.
And this week she was Road Warrior Animal.
Yes, which was awesome.
So
let's talk about was it last week where they just sacrificed my man Orange Juice to Brody Lee? Was that last week?
That was.
Oh my God.
And it wasn't okay. You and I talked off air about this last week. When actually I think it was Friday when we were hanging out. And Chris Barrett mentioned Nick Aldis, which
he should be showing up somewhere soon.
He should be.
I'm hoping it's AEW.
Right now, what I like is
he might be going to WWE because of Mickey.
He might. He's gonna go where the best use of him is, and I'll tell you where it probably is.
NXT.
No. New Japan.
New Japan.
Actually, where it's probably going to be best for him is Ring of Honor. Like, Ring of Honor needs talent, and they started back up. Yeah. So, Impact would be another good spot. You know, going back to where he came from. Taking that NWA championship and going up to Eric Young and being like, I have this one. I want them both.
Yeah.
You know? I'd be okay with that. I think that would be a good use of his talent. It wouldn't be overkill with the amount of people that they're bringing in. And I think that they need him, you know, whereas WWE, he gets lost in the shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's talent, and he's great, but I think that he gets lost. You know, in AEW, he can restart a feud with Cody at some point. He can do stuff like that. But, I mean, overall, they're overloaded, and they don't even know what to do with what they've got.
Yeah.
You know? And I've been saying that for
a couple people.
Gerald's wonderful having you in the show. Thanks so much for being here. We'll catch you next time, and don't be strangers. Barry, I'll check out your Twitch feed soon. Let's see. But yeah, so Orange versus Brody Lee for the TNT title. This match shouldn't have happened. Like, you have Orange Cassidy at the peak of his popularity right now after the Jericho thing. Feed him some people.
Yeah, but he still looks strong being able to hold his own against Brody Lee.
But Brody Lee, after beating Cody in 3 minutes after Cody went 6 months with that title, shouldn't have bumped for Orange Cassidy at all. Should not have bumped for him. Should not have taken the shots that Orange Cassidy was doing. I personally loved the match. I thought it was great. But from a storytelling standpoint, this means that Brody Lee walked in and walked all over Cody Rhodes, but yet Orange Cassidy can go 15 minutes with him? Give me a break.
But then
Orange Cassidy is a sloth. That's what his style is. They call it sloth style.
Then we have the returning shoe polish head. Cody.
Oh. And then on top of all of that, you steal Orange Cassidy's heat by having Cody Rhodes come back. And
the shoe polish was.
Go ahead.
The shoe polish. It was dripping. I don't know what he was doing. It was leaking.
It wasn't dripping. It wasn't dripping. You can't stop the juice. If they book him like that constantly, guys, they will stop the juice. It's going to burn him out. Like, I loved when Brody Lee kept trying to go for that punch and he just kept falling down. It was great.
Was awesome.
It was great. It's the perfect defense to that, right? Frustrate the big man. Except for the fact that you had 3 other people outside the ring and Orange Cassidy took all of them out. Then you had the big guy that took out Cody Rhodes in 3 minutes and 10 seconds and he goes 15 minutes with them. Shouldn't have happened. They should have just not done the match. What they should have done is they should have done Jake Hager versus Orange Cassidy.
So Jake Hager should bump and do all that for.
Yeah, he's doing nothing but bumping for everybody anyway. Yeah. I mean, he bumped for Gold Dust.
Yeah.
I mean, here's a 50-year-old man who everybody says they ain't got it anymore. Still does. Don't get me wrong. I like Dustin Rhodes, but Jake Hager's bumping for him. So go ahead and bump for Orange. Orange is your number one baby face right now besides Moxley.
Yeah.
and
Darby.
I think he's ahead of Darby right now.
Yeah. Maybe because Darby hasn't really had a lot of TV time right now.
That's because Darby's going to kill himself if he gets enough TV time. Then we also got Matt Hardy calling Chris Jericho an asshole.
And then one of the private party
Isaiah
challenges
Chris Jericho, and he says he's going to make him his bitch.
That's not going to end that well for you.
I don't know. If Chris Jericho likes you enough, he might actually put you over. But I would say with him being a tag team specialist, probably not going to happen. Now, I will tell you, my favorite Chris Jericho moment of the night wasn't even that. It was when he was backstage and had the one-off with MJF. And MJF's like, I didn't call you an idiot. He's like, oh, well, I didn't call you an idiot.
Call Tony Schiavone an idiot.
Called Tony Schiavone an idiot. And he's like, oh, yeah, because he is an idiot. And then it's like, oh, I called the limo driver an idiot. Oh, okay, well, I like you. No, I like you. You keep doing what you're doing. You keep doing what you're doing. It was great.
I'm wondering if that's going to lead to something.
Oh, it's totally going to lead to MJF beating up Chris Jericho. It's going to be the babyface turn of Chris Jericho. I bet before we go too long, MJF is going to be in charge of the Inner Circle. He's going to invite him. He's going to invite him in, and he's going to take over.
So he's going to be the Rock.
He's going to be the Rock.
To Farouk.
To Farouk. Chris Jericho is Farouk.
Whoa.
Damn. You got anything else on that show?
Bubbly. Bubbly. Oh, God. The best friend standing up to FTR.
Yeah, I mean, I guess after the war they were in last week, where Trent's mom gave the finger to everybody, was really something, really cementing them. FTR pulling the chicken shit heel move of everyone's favorite. We'll go. We'll give you that opportunity.
It's just not tonight.
But just not tonight, because you guys had a war last week, so we're gonna let you get ready. Oh man, that
was awesome.
It was, and it's really been who their character has been, right? Like that's truly who they've been built to be. But
I think anything else.
But that whole thing that they're doing, where they're saying, step up to the plate and face us. And doing that in a way where I love how they talk about the win-loss records, and how if you go 20 minutes and you don't win, it goes in the win column of us. Like really? So these teams are gonna go 20 minutes and they're not gonna get the win, and FTR is gonna be like,
yep,
we did it.
Yep,
we did it. So I
chicken shit heel.
Chicken shit heel. Yep. And because win-loss records matter in AEW, that's gonna be something that will be contested, and yet still, and then we'll have to have storyline moments of trying to figure out how to get back into the picture, because they're gonna take an L, right?
Yeah.
So, and of course, this week SCU gets to face them.
Yes.
FCU versus FTR. That match ought to be off the chain. Like,
the Scorpio Sky is amazing.
And well, that depends on if it's Scorpio Sky actually fighting. Like, is it going to be Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian? Is it going to be Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian?
Is it going to be Scorpio and Frankie?
Is it going to be Freebird rules? We don't know until they get there. I'm okay with that too. It's like, oh, you guys want to change up the rules? Well, guess what? We're going to change up the members.
That'll work. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, well, we're not ready for that. We were practicing for him. We weren't practicing for you. Be great.
It'd be awesome.
Be great. If you guys are listening, that's how you do that. Okay.
Well, they probably are too.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they are.
What we got? Talking smack. We're laying down the smack.
Yeah, we're laying the smack down.
Laying the smack down.
Yeah. SmackDown, by the way, wins my show of the week again.
What was your favorite part?
My favorite part?
Yeah.
The very end. The very end. Like after we got that moment where Roman sits there and says, "It ain't your time, Oos. It's my time." Like the whole I need to provide for the family, that stuff. And then he gets out of the ring with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's
And he walks backstage, and I knew Jay was taking too much time walking the ramp.
well,
He turned
but hold
around.
on. We're not even there yet because when he got out of the ring, he goes, "How do you know it's not my time?" And Uso gave one of those heartfelt speeches that makes you go, "Damn."
One of those he's like, you don't know is what it's like. He said the thing I've been dealing with, I was like, which one are you?
Which one are you?
And I was like, oh, well.
And I can tell you right now, that line was written by Paul Heyman.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely. Like that. I'm gonna tell you right now, Tino. I don't know how last week's Raw was so effing bad.
SmackDown.
And SmackDown was like a throwback to
when Paul Heyman was writing.
2002-ish.
Is that when he was writing?
Yeah. When he was running SmackDown before. When you had Eddie, you had Ray, you had Kurt, you had Chavo, Edge, you had Benoit, all of those guys like right there, and he said, we're gonna go out and we're gonna beat Raw's ass. And the whole joke was that they traded like Chris Jericho for like 3 of those guys back then, and Chris Jericho went to Raw, and they all went to SmackDown, and it just became something, and it was amazing. And this week, you start the show off with the Invitational, Sammy versus AJ versus Jeff, and the best part of that was when Sammy goes to get out of the ring and he just pushes the ladder on the 2 guys, and it's like, and then of course Adam Pearce. Suddenly we have somebody in charge again.
Yeah.
Adam Pearce walks out and he goes, "Whoa, Sammy! Now that you did that, all 3 of you were in a match tonight." Now, I hate when they do that because they're pretty much giving you the match early.
But
those 3 guys are so good in the ring.
Didn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Because they still put on a hellacious match Sunday. We'll get to that too.
So they put on this amazing match Friday night to start the show, right? They don't have access to Nikki Cross on Friday because even though they didn't announce it at that point, that's where she was pulled.
So you get Alexa and Lacey.
And Alexa snaps.
I was trying to figure out how they were going to work it out, and they did it brilliantly. With because you couldn't really hear. I didn't know if Evans was going to be like say anything about the Fiend, but the lights went out. They did that weird like noise, right? And that didn't do it. It didn't do it till he started laughing, and then she switched. And at the end, the perfect part of that, at the end where she's just standing there looking at the thing like, and she's just looking, and you hear thing, "Let me in," and she's got that stare on her face. I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna be good.
I mean, her hair was all crazy this week and everything else. I mean, like,
it's gonna be good.
You still can't. Has anybody been in the chat?
Yeah, a whole bunch of people been in the chat.
Really? Because I'm still just seeing the juice stuff from Terrence. So anybody, if you've got anything that you wanna add to these moments that we're talking about, please do. But then Roman started walking down to the ring when she was leaving.
That was my next thing that I know. And I asked you if you saw that too.
And she just stares at Roman as Roman walks by. And I'm telling you, this is obviously leading to Roman and the Fiend at some point.
So but you're saying that the Fiend, well, obviously, because Roman's going to be the Monster Heel, so you're just going to have to turn the Fiend face.
It's either going to turn him face, or he's just going to be less of the heel in a match against Roman. But what I think might actually happen is they get traded to Raw.
Okay.
Because that way you can keep them away from each other, and maybe even put the Fiend against Drew, which I'm okay with. Because then the Fiend gets to stay heel. Drew gets a new competitor.
So is Fiend going to have a stable on Raw? Do you think Lexa goes too?
Sure.
But to have somebody else join him. You think it'll just be him and Lexa? You think he'll have a little mini?
I don't know. For all I know, Bo Dallas shows back up and ends up being his crony.
But we thought about it. He was going to be in there
Well, we will. Yeah.
It would make sense because then Alexa could go for the women's championship. The Finn can have the men's championship.
Sure.
It'd be cool if they had like somebody else. They have the tag team, so that group can have all the belts.
You're asking for too much.
Okay.
Remember, cohesion on Raw does not seem to exist.
Yes.
So, but the best part of SmackDown for the past couple weeks has been Roman and Uso. And after Uso gives that heartfelt speech, he leaves the ring.
He turned his back.
He turned his back.
I knew.
And he puts the arm up, and he's like, that's right, Us. That's right, Us. And Roman hits him from behind.
No, he turned into the Superman punch.
Oh, right. He gets Superman punched, knocks him out, and Roman holds the belt over his face and says, "You think you can take this from me? You're not taking this from me. This is mine." Paraphrasing. But the storytelling in that angle has been phenomenal.
I think I agree with you. I think Heyman has a big hand in, if not want to say producing, but writing. I think he has a hand in how this storyline's going. I think they're listening to Heyman.
Well, so the rumor is that Vince McMahon is very, very hands-on with Monday Night Raw. And then while he might be backstage some of the time for SmackDown, he's not backstage nearly as often for SmackDown as he is for Raw.
Okay.
So while he gives feedback and everything else, he's kind of letting them write their program right now, is what it sounds like. And this is what I heard from Busted Open, so I don't know.
That's detrimental to Raw. I mean, if
that's
let go of the reins, dude. You know what I'm saying? You see SmackDown, you're not. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and we'll talk about that in a couple minutes because we're going to talk about Raw, but we obviously have to talk about the pay-per-view. And I don't have a thing for the pay-per-view for this, unfortunately, but cohesion in the pay-per-view happened. Like the entire I was very surprised with how good I thought the pay-per-view was. It wasn't a flashing turd. It wasn't anything like that. I was
a solid B.
I would say a solid B. Because, as our friend of the show, Jason has talked about, most of the Raw matches were matches we've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that I don't think that we had seen before was Asuka versus Zelina.
Yes.
And watching Apollo versus Bobby Lashley for the umpteenth time, off air we talked about this. The problem that we still have with all of these programs is that the producers running one program, and when I'm saying programs, I'm talking about two wrestlers or two tag teams or whatever, is not in charge of letting other people come into that feud. So, like, for example, when The Rock came back to Monday Night Raw a couple years ago, it was a hidden secret from everybody. So nobody in their promos or anything was saying anything like, "Oh man, I wonder who's coming back." In fact, the name of the episode was "Leave It to Bieber," because the rumor was that Justin Bieber was going to host WrestleMania. Turned out to be The Rock, right? So, all things considered, if everyone had been able to be more involved with that storyline, it could have actually given and pulled a little bit for each of them to garner their own heat from it, right? So, like, the example I gave on our Facebook group today was if you have Bobby Lashley and you have Apollo Crews and they're facing each other, well, if you want to extend that angle, maybe you go ahead and you have Apollo Crews face Andrade and you have Angel Garza face Bobby Lashley.
Okay.
And you have different matches going. So when the heat builds up between Bobby Lashley and Apollo, because Apollo comes out and causes Lashley to lose a match or whatever, then it leads to a match at the pay-per-view.
Right.
But I don't need Apollo versus Lashley on Raw one week, Apollo versus Lashley on Raw the next week, Apollo versus Lashley on Raw third week, and then the fourth week, Apollo versus Lashley at the pay-per-view. I don't need that. That doesn't make me want to watch those programs anymore. You know, and it really drives me nuts with that. I this week we got like the third match between Kevin Owens and Aleister Black, and we're not even there yet because we're talking about the pay-per-view. But I don't care about it anymore already. Like, I don't need to see them at the pay-per-view because I've already seen it.
Yeah.
You know? But the pay-per-view, besides the Apollo versus Bobby Lashley match, the only match I didn't like on the entire card that I didn't sit there. Bayley and Asuka. Why put Asuka in a second match of the night? Great, I love seeing her. She's obviously extremely talented. The match while it was going was fine. Why do that when you have a backstage area stacked with female talent? Lacey Evans could have come out and been like, I don't give a crap about Nikki Cross.
She's nasty.
But I can tell you right now, I think I can beat you, even if she couldn't. And then you get a heel versus heel match that ends with the disqualification anyway. Like, I think they wasted the Sasha Banks return.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to blow that entire thing before WrestleMania at this rate. Somebody leave a comment.
Yeah, Seawater said Booking 101. Guy A wins first match. Guy B wins next match. High pay-per-view rubber match with stipulation done. It's 50-50 booking.
Yeah, and see, that's just it. Carson, while that's fine, it's not fine when you're so limited on your talent already that you just keep seeing the same matches over and over and over. You know, and I thought it was really interesting that we did get Keith Lee versus Andrade tonight.
Which was good.
Although,
because
even there, the booking and the storyline kind of didn't make sense because Drew had already said open challenge, and then Andrade comes out and goes, open challenge? What?
Yeah. I think they're trying to find something to do with him now that Garza's hurt.
Oh, agreed. I think that they're going to push him as a singles wrestler, which he should be anyway.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, what they really should do is they should combine the tag team championships and allow the tag teams that are actually there to face off on pay-per-views.
I've been saying that for the longest.
It's you know, it works for the women's tag titles, so why not for the men's? You know,
I think they might do that at the draft.
Maybe, I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
I thought they were going to do something like that. Remember when Shinsuke and Cesaro met the Street Profits? Remember I said, why aren't we
combining them? And maybe they will at Survivor Series or something else. You know, that's normally where they do stuff like that. But I want to talk about the triple threat
Sami Zayn
ladder match was phenomenal.
I actually went back and watched that one today.
It was one of the most brutal looking, probably safest ladder matches that we've seen in a long time. But
those bumps did look brutal.
But very rarely do we get a match in this era of no crowds and can say that was a 5-star match. And from the beginning, where those three guys were putting their lives on the line, you literally have the Daredevil and Jeff Hardy, who I thought when he landed on the metal bar, I thought he cut the shit out of himself.
So when had that ladder upside down.
Uh-huh. I thought that was a crazy spot. I thought that when he got tossed out of the ring and it looked like the ladder hit him in the head and he started just, ragdolling down.
When he took off that tall ladder on the AJ.
No, Sammy.
Was it Sammy?
It was Sammy. Yeah.
My God.
When he did his classic swanton off the top of the thing right through Sammy, that broke that ladder in half. That ladder was split.
I know.
Like it had gaps in it.
I'm gonna tell you my favorite one though is when Sammy was on the ladder and AJ threw that little 3-foot ladder.
When he Rey Mysterio'd that ladder.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, the lawn darting of the ladder was 100% one of the most amazing things that and Sammy looked like he broke his hand
I
from
thought
it.
he did. And you kind of, when they did the replay, you can see he managed to get out of the way and kind of deflected. But at first, I'm like, oh!
And he's just sitting there going like this.
I
Like,
thought he really broke his wrist, broke his hand. I was like, oh.
but then, even though our friend of the show, Sketchy LeJoe,
Oh my gosh.
did not like the ending, I am going to say it was one of the most creative
I thought it was
endings
genius.
that the WWE has come up with in years.
And it looked painful. I don't know why Jeff
And
he agreed to that.
And it included ears. I just kept rhyming somehow.
Yeah.
And it was disgusting. And yet I couldn't turn away. It was like a train wreck.
I'm like, oh, no. Because I was going to see some accidentally falling or just, I'm like, oh, God.
I was waiting to watch Jeff Hardy trying to climb up the ladder with the ladder hanging from his ear.
I was too.
I was also waiting for him to just put it down and Sammy climb up the little ladder to get up the big ladder.
That would have been funny too.
But not only that, but then when it looked like AJ had the match wrapped up, Sammy handcuffed himself
Oh, genius.
to
Drag him
AJ,
up the ladder.
and then he couldn't drag him up the ladder. And then, of course, Sammy had the key.
He put him he did the fireman's
He had
carry.
it in his mouth.
Yeah, he put him in fireman's carry. AJ put him on his shoulders, climbed up the ladder. He got distracted. Was it Ref or Jeff Hardy?
It was Jeff. It was Jeff.
Sammy spits the key out of his mouth and handcuffs.
Unhandcuffs himself and handcuffs AJ to the bottom of the ladder, which let him just climb up, grab the belts, and look at everybody and go, I told you. I told you. And the best part was when they said, and new Intercontinental, and he grabbed the microphone and he's like, no.
And still.
No, I never lost this. It's and still Intercontinental Champion. And I mean,
that match started the night.
Oh yeah. Well, it didn't.
Well,
the first match was the tag team title match.
But that was the pre-show.
Correct. That was the pre-show, but it was a good match as well.
I need to go back and watch that one.
So I mean, it was Shinzaro. So yeah. I mean, it was expected to be good. Lucha House Party
Did they
actually
break up?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. They went to the Champions Lounge.
No, I'm talking about Lucha.
Oh no, I don't know. Yeah. Happened on the pre-show doesn't matter.
Because they've been teasing.
Interestingly, though, what was supposed to be on the pre-show was Zelina versus Asuka, and it got bumped to the real show because of all the other things that happened.
Yeah.
So Shayna and Nia were unable to compete for whatever reason. Weird text goes out tweet goes out from Nia Jax saying my tag team partner's expecting.
Yeah, and I text Rob like WTF, and I texted him a screenshot of the tweet. So
then Tino, we get the Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton match, and I'm putting this graphic up here because about 2 minutes into the match,
where the fuck did Show come from?
How does a 7'4" motherfucker
come out of nowhere?
Come out of nowhere. Now, granted, there's no crowd.
So he's probably hiding behind the wall.
So he's
hiding behind the screens.
Oh yeah,
he's behind the screens.
And the crowd doesn't necessarily catch up to it.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily hear the you know. But he grabs him by the leg, puts him through a table, and then he disappears. But then Tino, that's not all.
Who was next? The backstage. Where the fuck did Christian come from?
Catering. Apparently Christian wanted to get in on the action, and he goes ahead and throws Randy through a couple tables. He makes sure that he gets a vegan meal, I think. I thought that's what he ate. And then we go back to the action.
And Randy manages to get them on top of the ambulance and puts...
Oh my God.
Puts them through the windshield?
Put Drew McIntyre through the windshield, and I was like, this match is done. Like, all he has to do is pick the big man up, throw him in the back, and it's over.
Yeah.
But no.
They climb on top of the ambulance, and then...
Ambulance.
The ambulance, yeah. And then, where the fuck did Shawn Michaels come from?
He came up a ladder on the side.
I saw that.
You saw the ladder. but some sweet chin music. And then, of course,
and then so they fight. Now this is one thing that it kind of pissed me off. So he hits the
Claymore.
Hits Claymore. Those in the back, and he decides he don't want to do that. He goes to the punt. If you look, he missed.
Oh yeah,
he missed by a mile.
Yeah,
but Randy still sort of like, I'm like, I saw
that's.
that you missed.
I mean, that's what a pro does.
I saw that you missed.
Well, remember though, Drew kicked that door on the van so hard
knocked it off the hinge.
that he knocked it off the hinge. So it's possible he kicked the bumper so hard that it still went up and hit Randy Orton with the reverberation.
So anyway, he punt kicked Orton in the head, threw him back to the ambulance, and then we had my final. Where the fuck did Flair come from?
Yeah, because he wasn't in the truck before that, and no one walked up to the truck after that. So he just
appeared.
Ric Flair.
And drove off with no door. That was the funniest shit.
he said something, though. And I can't remember.
Like, I'll get him there. Woo!
He's like,
no, he said, I won't break the speed limit.
I won't break the speed limit. Woo! And I don't know how he's going to drive the van anyway, because the windshield's
right. That's what I was thinking.
Destroyed.
I was thinking too. He's like this. The little good part at the bottom is.
But I do have to ask, if you're going to have all the different legends that Randy Orton has punted in the head over the past couple months,
what's up?
What is up, Drew Manchu? We're talking about the pay-per-view. So, but if you're going to have everybody show up that Randy Orton has punted in the head in the past 2 months or so,
where was Edge?
Where was Edge? Where the fuck was Edge? So, and obviously he's not actually ready to come back yet, so that's why they didn't bring him back.
And I thought for sure he was going to be back though. But when people started appearing, I'm like, oh fuck Edge. I thought if not Spear, because he's still hurt, like you said, he could have driven the ambulance off.
So I'm not really going to go on a rant or anything here, but I am going to say that when you have a world title holder like Drew McIntyre, who has been able to take out guys like Brock Lesnar in less than 5 minutes, take out the Big Show shortly thereafter, go up against Seth Rollins, defeat him soundly, go up against Bobby Lashley, beat him soundly, why in the hell does it take Drew McIntyre, Big Show, Christian, Shawn Michaels, and Ric Flair to beat Randy Orton when he beat Randy Orton at SummerSlam? When Keith Lee beat him soundly and just took care of it. Couldn't pay me to watch WWE lately, but even I will watch this show. Potsy time. Thank you, Drew. Really appreciate it. But don't count Tino out. You know, he just dropped a couple F-bombs for the program.
I got to. I love that's my favorite part.
That is definitely.
I don't get to do it often, so I had free reign tonight.
Well, I put it up 5 times for you.
I know. I loved it. Thank you.
You want another one?
I don't know. Maybe later. Huh? Maybe
All right,
for the Raw, because when.
But Tino, that drove me nuts about this match. I'm sitting here like in all that is what makes Drew McIntyre as strong. The dude is like 6'7", and he's 270 pounds of pure muscle.
But it makes sense and I thought it was, if it's a blow off match, you know, he got his comeuppance from all that, and I saw that.
Tino time is coming.
Yeah, he got his comeuppance from everybody that he kicked. And so I thought, okay, they're over. But apparently tonight, it's not.
But I mean, think about it. He took a choke slam through a table. He took a sweet chin music. He took a claymore kick. He took a punt. He took getting thrown through catering, and yet he still had enough offense to make Drew McIntyre look beatable. Like, it shouldn't have been that way.
No.
Like here is your champion, the guy who on programs that are not WWE programs, so like the Today Show or whatever, when you introduce him as the star of Monday Night Raw. And yet here you are having him almost lose to Randy Orton, even though the deck was so stacked against Randy that Randy had no chance. And yet you booked Drew that week.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly, because we're now going to talk about the main event of the pay-per-view, we get Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso.
Oh my God. I did not think
Uce
that I was
comes
gonna
out.
like it
He's got the lay on. Roman comes out.
without the bass.
New look Roman.
Sans bass.
Same music.
Yeah.
No. If you're gonna bring Aleister Black out with new music,
That's
where the fuck? Where the fuck?
Well, I guess. Well, yeah, because Bailey came out when she changed, so she had new music.
Yeah.
I can see it.
So I mean, like at this point, Roman needs new music. I want to hear something that's very tribal. If you're gonna make him the tribal chief, I want to hear some like maybe some rock in there and stuff, but definitely some drums.
And they're probably working on that because I mean he doesn't have the vest. They're changing his looks. I guarantee the next couple of weeks.
Guarantee.
I guarantee.
So it's not a prediction.
It's a spoiler.
It's a spoiler.
In the next couple of weeks, and I'm sure Heyman's on top of that.
Yeah, I would think that Heyman's sitting there going, Roman.
Yeah.
You need some new music to go with those threads.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you
that match.
Well, let me start with my opinion at the beginning was that this should be a squash. It should be instant Roman saying, "Hey, remember how I did you a favor? Lay down." That's what I went in.
He said you should have laid down. He didn't yell.
Well, he yelled it, but that's what I thought should happen. And then when he sits there and goes, I can't do that, Oos. I can't do that. That's when Roman sits there and goes, Paul, hold this, and then just go off, right?
That's not what happened.
But that's not what happened. We got Roman Reigns' best match of his career.
By far.
Without a doubt.
By far.
Now, I don't know if it's because Jay carried him. I don't know if he carried Jay. I don't know if
I think they're just letting him be him. He doesn't have, as a baby, they even say, and Stone Cold said it all the time too, as a face, you have to carry yourself a certain way. If you're a heel, you have more leeway, more freedom.
Sure.
And I think now that he's a heel, he's got more freedom to be him and to able to do things like that.
Well, and we got to see him heel out. Big time. Now, and it didn't really happen at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Obviously at the end of SmackDown, he heeled out a little bit. Basically said, "This is mine. You're not taking this. You think you can take what's mine. You can't take it."
Punched him in the face.
Superman punched him in the face. And then during this match, when Roman got cocky, is when Jay stepped up. It's when Jay got some offense in, and Jay's high flying offense, very similar to like a Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker or something. Roman slowly going up against him and everything, dropping some punches, kept doing that uppercut that Jay would sell like $1 million. Like his hair doesn't flow the way it used to. It's like I said a couple weeks ago. It's kind of like those Lego blocks that just go on top of the characters' heads. It says "ought." Oh, night, guys. Chris Barrett. Thanks so much for being part of the show. As always, welcome here anytime, and we will see you next time. Remember, we will not be here next week. We'll be here the week after. But Jay got more offense in than I expected him to, and he even he hit his finisher.
And I think Roman, just like we were saying with Orange and Brody. I think Roman sold just enough. He wasn't a bump machine. He sold just enough. You know what I mean?
Well, so it never looked really in doubt that he was going to lose.
Right.
But then we got the moment.
Oh.
Okay. And there's good and there's bad in the moment, by the way. And I told you about it while we were watching Raw tonight, which we still have to hit Raw, and we've got 15 minutes to do it.
Okay.
He does this moment where he starts pounding on him, and he's sitting on top of him, and he's holding his head, and he's looking at the camera, and this is something you can do without the crowd that you couldn't do with the crowd.
You can hear him.
You can hear him, and they're really getting those microphones in close for this stuff, and he sits there and he goes, "You tell them. You tell them that I'm the chief. You tell them that I'm the leader. You tell them." And he's like, "I can't do that. I can't do that." And the good of it
Not today, Oos.
is how good Roman looked doing this.
The bad of it, I know where you're going.
The bad of it,
Jay.
the bad of it
Oh God.
is that Jay looked like he was smiling.
I don't know if that was a grimace.
It was supposed to be. I know what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be, oh, it looks like it hurts so much. But he's like, I can't do that, Oos. I can't do that. And he's got like, his eyes are wide open. He's just like this. And it's like, you got to do better than that.
Yeah.
You know, or take the camera off of him. But he looked like he was just, I'm having fun. We're kids in the backyard again right now. Ooh.
And in his mind, it probably was. You know what I'm saying? That's probably.
He's sitting there going, "This is the biggest payday I'm ever getting." You know, I watched the Chronicle thing. Michael Cole sits there and says, you've worked all your life to be to try to get a moment of being a singles wrestler, and in your moment, you get to go after the biggest title. You get to go against for the biggest the biggest match of your career. On a big stage, on a pay-per-view, main eventing for the world title, like that's just insane. And he's like, I can't fathom it, you know. But then Tino, we still got we got the best Roman Reigns match we've ever seen, and we didn't even really get to see that one look that because at this point, because he won't sit there and say that he's the chief, Paul Heyman's outside the ring yelling, "You're the chief. You're my chief."
He said, "I don't want to hear it from you."
And he's like, "Shut up. I don't need to hear it from you. I need to hear it from him."
I also think, now you said he probably won't get another payday. I think they threw Jay out there to see what he can do by himself because he looked strong in the feet because he
he looked great.
Did not quit. He didn't get pinned.
No, and in fact, it's going to cause turmoil between him and his brother. Because Jimmy Uso is the one that came out and actually said, "Don't, just tell him." And he's like, "No." He's like, "I'm going to throw in the towel then." And he goes, "Don't you do it. Don't you do it." And finally, he throws in the towel, and Jimmy gets in the ring, and Jimmy's still got his bad leg, and he's sitting there going, "You're the tribal chief. You want to hear it that you're it. Is that what you wanted to hear? This is your family. What are you doing? You shouldn't do this." And then The Rock tweeted about it today.
I didn't see what he tweeted.
He basically just said, "I heard you guys tore the house down." You know? So far The Rock's staying out of it. But we all think that it's leading to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
I think that's planting the seed.
It may be. It may be because what if Roman comes out on Friday night to show the tweet from The Rock and he sits there and he goes, "You think I need his affirmation?"
Or mind your own business.
Just anything, just you think I need to hear what my cousin has to say? I knew I was going to win. I knew I was going to be I knew they were going to call me the chief. Let him come back. He'll call me the chief too. Boom, storyline, right? And it keeps going. But
real quick.
But yeah, we want to get out of here in ample time. I want you guys to be able to go to bed or watch your other shows or whatever you got to do. Monday Night Raw compared to last week. I mean, this was compared to last week. This is an A+ show compared to that F trash that we got to watch last week. And I'm going to tell you right now. Here's a couple things that happened. We did not get any Raw Underground bullshit. We did not get any retribution except for one vignette, which, by the way, we should not have gotten. We didn't need it. It was garbage. We don't need it. It's time to just sit there and say, Keith Lee is the head of a group called Retribution that also has Dominik Dijakovic. It has Mia Yim. It's got Shane Thorne, and it's got Mercedes Martinez. And they're here to basically take over because that's what they do, right? That's all you need to do with that. Get over this whole, we're going to destroy WWE, blah, 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 bullshit. We don't need it. It's garbage. It's going to ruin the story. But the rest of Raw made sense. Started out with Drew McIntyre coming down to the ring with all the legends, and Shawn Michaels even said to him, he goes, "Drew, I gotta tell you, if you didn't like what us coming down and us doing what we did to old Randy, it's nature's fault. It was the Nature Boy that did it, and it was great, And they all went back. They started playing poker. Apparently, the Nature Boy's a much better poker player than the rest of them. But
What's up?
what is going on, Brick Blaze? We are talking pro wrestling. We're talking Monday Night Raw. We're getting ready to finish up our show here. Hope you are doing well. Brick Blaze is works at my day job.
Okay.
I do not talk about my day job on the Potsy and Tino show, but is a manager at one of the stores in the company. He's a streamer on Twitch. Streams things like Little Big Planet, and I think you've even done some WWE games on there, if I remember correctly.
Cool.
So
Sean is in the ring with Drew.
yeah, and they did that. They did their little moment, and then Drew McIntyre sits there and says, "I feel like wrestling tonight. How about we do an open challenge?" And suddenly the wheels start turning. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Oh, it's probably just going to be the same guys it's always been. No, because Drew adds the stipulation, as long as it's somebody I haven't faced for the title. So
I don't remember Keith Lee. I think he has.
So I don't know if Keith Lee had or not, but like I said earlier, we got Keith Lee versus Andrade. Andrade said he wanted to do an open challenge. Zelina Vega gets a return match against Asuka. Asuka beats her again.
We get Mandy Rose and bodybuilder Mandy Rose.
Oh, and Dana Brooke.
Against
they teamed them up against well, they might as well call them the Heart Attack.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's Natalya and it's the woman that gets put through a table every week, Lana.
But she kicked her leg way.
Oh yeah, when she got into the ring,
my
like
God, she's like this, and it was touching her head, and she's standing straight up. I'm like,
good for Rusev. That's exactly what Tino said. He said, good for Rusev. And then I said, Miro.
Yeah.
The best man. A terrible gimmick. We got another EST promo.
The fastest this week.
We found out that R-Truth is now a 41-time 24/7 champion, which means Akira Tozawa's got to be...
Did not get devoured.
He did not get devoured by the shark.
No.
Although, he did give R-Truth a gift. He gave him his black belt. Ultimately, because, like I said, we want to wrap up. I felt that Monday Night Raw...
It was a good show.
Was solid. I'm not going to say good. Compared to last week, it was Emmy-worthy. But all things considered...
Forgot the main event. Who answered the challenge?
So... Let me start by saying on NXT they started showing vignettes of people of a person saying that he's very disappointed in how the title's been held and everything else, and he's coming back. And the theory started being it could be Samoa Joe, it could be Bobby Roode, it could be Bo Dallas, it could be any of these guys that are not currently in a program that have held the title before. And the wheels started turning. Oh man, we think it's Bobby Roode. We think it's Bobby Roode. And I don't think it's Bobby Roode because Dolph Ziggler went and talked to Adam Pearce and said I know who should face Drew McIntyre.
So
and
you don't think it's Bobby Roode?
I'm talking about NXT.
Okay.
I wanted it to be Bobby Roode. I think that he made more sense.
Yeah.
I think he's more credible than who it's going to end up being at this point. But anyways, we get this moment where where Dolph Ziggler basically says, "I know who should face him." Adam Pearce says, "You've already had your chance against him," and he goes, "No, not me. I got somebody else." And then, wouldn't you know it, he brings out Joey Ryan.
Shut up.
What? No, it wasn't Joey Ryan.
Rick Rude's son.
Oh, Rick Roode
Yeah.
son. Yes, the glorious one.
And until you said it, I'd forgotten that he beat McIntyre for the NXT title, which does make sense.
Yep.
So that is some consistency that Raw is showing.
And we get Robert Roode. Glorious. I will defend.
You shouldn't say.
No, because I'm losing my voice. Thank you, though. Yeah, no, I'm losing my voice. You can hear it. Anyways.
He said you shouldn't sing too.
No, he said glorious.
Oh.
That's right. So Robert Roode comes down. Robert Roode gave a hell of a match. But why do you bring him back just to take a 1, 2, 3? Why not at least have it get blown up by Retribution? Why not?
Thought was going to happen.
Why not have Randy Orton come back down and drop? Even better, if he had dropped Robert Roode with an RKO, it would have given Robert Roode the win.
Well,
so again, going back to those multiple storylines, things like that.
Me too.
We were singing the Beer Money song all night.
Because you said James Storm.
Because James Storm almost made his return to the WWE this year, and
that would have been perfect.
Well, Beer Money would be better in Impact or AEW.
So you don't think they're WWE ready?
Oh, no. They're too good. They'll get wasted in WWE as a tag team.
I can see Beer Money in FTR.
I would want to see Beer Money in FTR. I mean, that's 10 years ago's number one tag team against what they think is now's number one tag team, but they won't go worldwide to figure that out, apparently. So that match ends.
Randy Orton did show that up, though.
Yeah, he sure did.
God.
Randy Orton shows up, and folks, the problem with Randy Orton showing back up was that they pulled some Sam Fisher Splinter Cell bullshit where Randy Orton first of all, he looks like Michael Myers wearing a fucking garbage man outfit as the custodian, even though he left the building earlier. Sure, I get all that. But let's go ahead and just say what happened. He opens the door to the Legends Lounge.
They see him.
He turns off the light and proceeds to hit them all with steel chairs.
But how? If it's dark in the room.
He was wearing night vision goggles, Tino. But that isn't what this rant is about. This rant is about the fact that this motherfucker walks out of the room,
puts his hood back
puts
on.
the hood back on, turns the corner, and when the officials come to check on everybody,
he just points.
which hold on, the only reason why they would know that anything happened in that room in the first place was because a camera is on them, which followed Randy Orton out of the room to watch him put the hood back on in his custodial outfit.
And he points and they run by him.
And he points them in the direction like, he went that way. like some Bugs Bunny bullshit, folks. Like literally some old school 1950s cartoon shit that they're not even allowed to show on TV anymore because it is too sensitive. Yeah, they can't really show a lot of the stuff from Bugs Bunny since you're giving me that look. Might be the go home look, I'm not sure. but literally, the only way they would have known to run into that room to check on all of them was by having a camera on Randy Orton in the first place. So they would have known that it was him. And yes, Terrence, serial killer Randy, apparently. You gave us a solid Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, they were.
2 hours, 58 minutes. A weird-ass commercial with a cell phone.
That made you laugh. So every week we watch, and there's commercials that get us. So a couple of weeks ago, my new favorite one was the dude with the. I
thought we were doing the Zoom thing.
I think you had two tonight. You had the
Liberty Mutual.
That one and the Carl Jr. sandwich. I'm going to Hardee's in the morning.
So I didn't pop at that one. I didn't laugh at it.
No, it was just funny.
They must have showed this Hardee's commercial for the prime rib sandwich like 78 times.
And I'm like, and the first time I was like, that's a heart attack burger. He's like, why? He didn't see it's like a
I didn't see it was a burger with prime rib on top. I just thought it was a prime rib sandwich.
But
but then I finally go, that sandwich got a burger on it, and he goes, that's why I said it would give you a heart attack. And I'm like, I still want to eat it.
But that Liberty Mutual.
So
dude,
at the end of the night, we get a brand new Liberty Mutual commercial.
Oh my God.
Where and I don't know if it's the same everywhere, but this dude dressed up in a cell phone costume all of a sudden just starts going because he's vibrating from an incoming call.
It's an incoming call. He's just starting, and his paper's flying everywhere. That was funny.
Thought we were doing the Zoom thing.
That's mine.
So, but anyway, I got to tell you, Monday Night Raw actually gave us a solid program. No Raw Underground, no Retribution.
Needed. And it wasn't needed.
Until the last 2 fucking minutes, and it drove me absolutely batshit crazy, Tino. Because all night I was like, when's it go off the rails? When's it go off the rails?
You thought it was going to go off the rails when they showed the packet with the Retribution.
With Retribution.
I'm like, no, just wait and see what they do. Yeah. And they didn't do anything, really, so.
And then Randy Orton had to do it.
Yeah, Randy Orton.
Like, they made him a fucking cartoon character.
He screwed the pooch. You keep saying the F-bombs. The swing's not even up.
I know, but now I'm like this.
Oh, whatever. They screwed the pooch at the end of that.
I mean, my little, where is he? Over here? Yeah, right there. My little Gerber baby with a beard and Black Gandhi over here.
Black Gandhi.
I mean, that's what he looks like. Yeah, he's gonna go on a fast or something.
Yeah, it's 1:33. About to start getting punchy.
So all right, Tino.
Do your balls hang low? Do they wobble true or fro? No, you want that?
No, I just no. I gave my rant. I got a couple F-bombs in because you got a good couple in there. Folks, next week we will be taking a week off. I will be on vacation. So I will not have the equipment because I'm afraid that I won't have the internet speed necessary to be able to broadcast, as well as I'm not going to be in a place necessarily where I can broadcast at 11:30, 1:30 in the morning. So we will be back not next week, but the week after. So please, if you have not liked or subscribed to the channels, follow us on Twitch, Rob Potsy Potchak. Subscribe on YouTube, Rob Potchak. This is Tino.
HoodieFan91 on Twitter, SC Tino on Insta.
Rob Potsy Potchak on Twitch, Rob Potchak on Insta, Potchak on Twitter. And of course the show's Twitter is Potsy and Tino. And our theme song, as always, is brought to you by Adam's House Cats, called The Wrestling Song. It's on iTunes. You can buy it for 99 cents. And as always, folks, until 2 weeks, not next week, the week after, you can hear Ric Flair. And he is on the hill. Well, he got beat up tonight. And he's probably going, ooh, or maybe, ow. He's like, what happened? What happened? Oh. He had night vision goggles. I need those so I can get up the stairs. It's like, where the hell did I park the ambulance? I'm going to need it. We'll see you next time. Good night. Good night, everybody.
Everybody wants to be the next boy, but I am the man of the hour, the tower of power, too sweet to be sour, make you scream, oh! Like Jared Clower, there have been many imitations, but only one, Nature Boy. I am the greatest thing going today. Whether you like it or not, you better learn to love it, because whether you like it or not, I am the greatest of all time.